again to English class. Children, today we will be starting with a new topic, that is a poem, and the name of the poem is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. So as you can see on the board, I have written the title of the poem, and it is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. Now this is given to you on page number 90 of your main course book, right? Main course books, that is English literature book, page number 90. So I request you to kindly switch to page number 90 so that we can know about what this poem is all about, right? So before starting with the poem part, that is before starting with the explanation part, children, I would like to brief you with a small introduction of the poet as well as the poem, right? Now as you can see on the board, I have written the poet is William Wordsworth. Now William Wordsworth, right? William Wordsworth is known as the best ever poet in English history, right? So there are also many poets and poetess, but the name of William Wordsworth is very eminent, right? So William Wordsworth is also known as a nature poet, okay, because this poet was having a very you can say emotional connection with nature. He used to write many of the poems, and in his poems the content of nature and its glimpses were seen or given, okay. So the readers could make out that that particular poem which they are reading, whose poem? William Wordsworth poem which they are reading, who are reading? The readers found that it had a glimpse or a small content of nature. The content, it might be small also, or the content would be based on nature only, okay. So he is also known as nature poet, right? Who? William Wordsworth. Now here he was born on 7th of April 1770. So he was born when? On 7th April 1770, right? And he was born in United Kingdom, right? Cockermouth, Cumberland, England, okay? So this was the place where he was born. Who? William Wordsworth, right? Now coming to the death of the poet, right? So he died on 23rd of April 1850, right, children? So I hope this is easy for you to know a small brief introduction of the poet. Now you can see that I have written here romantic age poet. Now what is romantic age poet? A romantic age poet means that this was the era of the English literature history. It means that many poets, many poets wanted to create something new, and they created also. So many poets came in a wake of of their masterpiece, okay. And this was the era, or this was the period when it led to a revolution in the field of in the field of writing or creating the masterpiece. So William Wordsworth have written many poems, okay. He is also known as a nature poet, as I told you, but this is the era of Elizabethan era, okay. So this era is basically known as the romantic age, okay. The you can say that the beginning of that age, where the emphasis was much laid on the literature part, right? On the classic literature, many different literature part, and many different forms of literature poems were denoted in this particular period, that is the romantic age period, right? So William Wordsworth, along with Coleridge, that is Samuel Taylor Coleridge, okay, so he collaborated with him, and he have written lyrical ballads, okay, lyrical ballads with whom? With Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Now since we'll not go to that lyrical ballads, let's stay on this particular poem only, that is I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. So let us stay on this. So I hope the small brief introduction of the poet is understood to you, right? Now without wasting any time, let us switch to the poem part, that is let us switch to the first stanza of the poem, what exactly he is saying, right? So children, as you can see that I have written the first stanza on the board. So after the introduction of the poet, let us now begin what the poem is all about. Now here children, I would like to say that, as I told you, that the poet is a nature poet. Okay, he is fond of what? He is fond of nature, flowers, mountains, valleys, etc. Right? So here in this poem, he is glorifying the ethics of nature. He is glorifying, praising, and he is indulging himself in what? In the beauty of nature, and he is elaborating that how exactly he is feeling. Now here the nature himself has thought that he is no more a human here. Okay, he is a human, right? The fact is that he is a human. But here in this poem, he is comparing himself as what? As to the cloud. So here he is just comparing himself as cloud. It means that he himself is thinking that I myself, I am what? I am a cloud. Okay. So see, you have seen clouds, right? When you see cloud, it's so beautiful, right? When you go to some place where in the rainy days, when you go to some place, you enjoy the scenery, right? Everything is clean, washed, green, and the clouds, the fog which comes, right? The temperature of that particular environment, right? The beautiful environment of that particular place where you are in that time, that is in the rainy time. Not in the rainy time, children, sometimes it is also that you witness clouds in winters also. Sometimes due to the humidity, you can see clouds in the what? In the summer seasons also. And the formation of those clouds in the sky is so beautiful that even you can see even a bird or anything which just go across from the sky, you feel so glorified and so beautiful, right? So all those things are just meant to soothe your eyes, right? It is just meant to give you that particular pleasure to your eyes, that wow, what did I see? It is so beautiful, right? And then you start mesmerizing the things, then you start thinking of what exactly the nature is all about. So here, as I told you, the poet himself is thinking that I am what? I am a cloud. Okay, so here there are so many things in this poem that you will come to know, you will witness that how exactly he is praising the nature with the medium of his feelings through what? Through the lines. Okay, so without wasting any time, children, let us start with the first stanza of the poem. I'll be explaining you. As you can see, I have written here on the board, but I request you to kindly see this particular stanza in your book. That is, please open page number 90 and switch to your MCB book, right? So let us start with the explanation part of first stanza. It says, I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. Now here you can see that I have marked this word vales, right? V-A-L-E-S, and it means valleys. Okay, it means what? Valley. So since I told you that the poet himself is thinking himself as what? As a cloud. Now the word wandering as a cloud, right? Who wanders? Who wanders? The person who is not having any particular point to go, wherever he want to go, right? If I am going somewhere, I'll be saying I am going to the market. It means that I am going to a particular point. There is some place where I am going. Now wandering means what? Going here, going there. You don't have a particular location, a perfect location which you may say that I am going to this particular juncture or a particular place, right? Now here the writer is saying I am wandering like what? I am wandering like a cloud. Cloud, it is just what? The formation of gases, right? Clouds is what? The formation of gases, right? So clouds do not have any particular juncture or any particular place. They keep on wandering from here to there, from there to here. So they do not have a particular place where they stay, right? So they keep on wandering. So as I told you that here the poet himself is thinking himself to be what? As a cloud. So he says, I wandered lonely as a cloud. Now lonely as a cloud means what? That there is some place in England where he was going. Now this poem basically, I would like to say that the poem is having the glimpse where we can see that this writer was basically in England. He went to his sister's home, that is Dorothy. Okay, his sister's name was Dorothy. Okay, so he went there and he was just taking a short walk in a landscape. Okay, in an area. Okay, so there he was lonely. Nobody was there with him. He was roaming there alone. Okay, he was wandering there alone, right? As the cloud wanders in the sky. Okay, so here the word lonely simplifies that. Okay, it means that here the writer is wandering lonely. It means that he was there in the meadow and he was going there lonely. He was lonely. There was nobody to accompany him. He was not accompanied by anybody, right? That floats on high over vales and hills. So he is comparing himself as what? As the clouds which are floating high on what? On the valleys of the hills. Hills and valleys. So as I told you, clouds do not have any juncture, and so does the writer himself. Why? Because he himself is thinking that he himself is a cloud. Okay. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, right? So here is saying, when all at once I saw a crowd. Till here, children, in the first two lines, we can make out that the poet is what? The poet is lonely. But in the third line, he is giving the what? Giving the hint to us that suddenly while I was wandering, I just saw something very beautiful, the crowd. And that crowd was of what? Daffodils. Now this daffodils is what? Daffodils are beautiful yellow flowers, a kind of lily. You know, lily are quite big, but they are beautiful flowers. Yellow, golden color, golden and yellowish mixed color flower. Hope this is understood to you, that this is what? The daffodils. So here he is saying a host of golden daffodils. Now the color of daffodils is what? Golden daffodils. So it is kind of yellowish golden color, right? Beautiful color. Beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So beside the lake. So you can also imagine that that particular place, hills, valleys, mountains, lakes and daffodils, right? So here the mix-up of each and everything, that is hills, valley, lakes, meadow, flowers, that is daffodil, is making this stanza what? Glorified with the beauty, right? The beauty of nature. So here the writer is saying that I was wandering like a cloud, but all of a sudden I saw something which was very beautiful, and it was what? The golden daffodils, which were what? Which were fluttering and dancing in the breeze, right? So children, I hope stanza 1, the explanation is clear to you. I would like to request you to kindly go through the stanza at your home, okay, and do find out something very good, something in the sense, some good poems and some good poems, pictures of William Wordsworth, right? So this will be your homework for today. That is, you will see some good pictures of William Wordsworth. You will be knowing the life skills and exactly how he was, what exactly he have done, what he have penned or written, how he have written his poems, exactly like that. Okay, so I hope this is easy for you to understand. We will be meeting tomorrow with the explanation of stanza 2. Till then, take care, thank you and stay safe.